the history that you, your brother, Ryan, Jadrian have with St. Joe's. Terrence said you told him a little bit about that this week. Even if it wasn't much, what did you let him know about your history?
Yeah, they asked at one point, just, you know, because they're hearing it, right? Like they hear people talking. You know, with all these games we play, there's connections. Some are deeper than others, right? Like, I'll go back to Niagara. It's been 5 years, very formidable years at Niagara, like very important years of my life were at Niagara. So to play them, yeah, there's a different feeling than playing, you know, Sanford. I didn't really have a connection. Lenny Incuff, their coach, I knew well, but didn't really have a connection. But, you know, you play Niagara, and that means something. Like, we spend a lot of time wearing purple. We spend a lot of time in that gym, right? So certainly for our family, like, yeah, we spend a lot of time there. And, you know, maybe there's deeper connection. But I told them, like, the game is the game. Like, it didn't change. Like, our prep didn't change. Practice didn't change. My film routine didn't change. Nothing changed, because the most important thing is the 94 by 50 is to go win the game, right, in between those lines. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of memories there. But, you know, you make those connections. We happen to be through St. Joe's, but I mean, we had 3 former players watch practice yesterday, not including me and Ryan, who were on the court, but 3 former players, former St. Joe's players, who were here to support us. I heard from a lot of former teammates leading up to this game, wishing us well. Like, it's those individual connections. Like, yeah, whatever the school says, the jerseys, all that, you know, is something. But there was a lot of people, you know, with those connections. And quite frankly, like, I'd love to see it get resolved at some point in time. I will speak very, you know, frankly about that. It should get resolved. A wrong should be righted. How that is, I just said on the radio, they asked me about that. I'm like, bad assistants just tell you what's wrong, just what needs to be fixed. Good assistants tell you what the fix is. I don't really have the fix, so I'm a bad assistant right now. But you know, it should be. You know, like, we go to Davidson on Saturday. Bob McKillop's name is on that court. Phil Martelli's name should be on that court. It should be. Winningest coach in school history. All due respect to Jack Ramsey, to all the great coaches, Jim Lynam, everybody. But he's the best coach in school history, and should be honored that way. Should be honored. Now, how that gets fixed and how, I don't know, but it should. It should. And, you know, you should have a banner. We go to George Mason and Jim Larinaga's name is hanging in the rafters. Yeah, he should have that same thing, right? He should have that same thing. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Big Five Hall of Fame. Like, all those things, like, should happen and need to happen. Now, when and how and all that, I don't have the true answer. But as candidly as I can speak, it should get resolved. And there are some in our camp that probably very much agree with that. There's probably some that maybe don't, but that's just my opinion on it. And you know, there was too much built there, and on his back, and he would never take the credit individually for it, but he built a hell of a program and should be honored in the right fashion.
Coach, in that same vein, I saw your dad